What if I told you that a $300 garage sale purchase made me more money than my entire corporate salary? Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly how compound interest works, not just with money, but with the decisions you make in your 20s. I'm Alex, and 10 years ago I was sleeping on a friend's couch with $47 in my checking account. Today, I'm financially independent. Not because I won the lottery. Not because of some crypto moonshot. But because I treated my 20s like a launch pad, not a playground. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every dollar you waste on impressing people you don't like is a soldier you're sending to die. But every dollar you invest in the right purchases, that soldier comes back with an army. This video breaks down 7 specific purchases that transformed my financial life. Not theories, actual things I bought that paid for themselves 10 times over. Watch until the end because purchase number 5 is the one nobody talks about, but it's what separates the wealthy from the wannabes. Purchase number 1. A beat-up 2012 MacBook Pro I bought for $400 on Craigslist. I know, side hustle is the most overused phrase on the internet. But stay with me. At 22, I was trapped in a warehouse job, scanning barcodes for $11 an hour. My manager had this habit of calling me buddy in that condescending way that made me want to scream. I needed an escape route, not a lottery ticket. That MacBook became my skill-stacking machine. I learned video editing at 2 a.m. after my shifts. I taught myself basic coding on lunch breaks. Within 8 months, I was freelancing for small businesses, making in one weekend what I used to earn in 2 weeks at the warehouse. Here's what nobody tells you. Your 20s are the only time you can afford to fail spectacularly. When you're 50 with a mortgage and kids, a failed business attempt is a catastrophe. At 22, it's just Tuesday. The laptop paid for itself in 30 days. But more importantly, it taught me that income isn't fixed, it's manufactured. You don't need permission to earn more. You need skills that solve problems. Whatever your MacBook is, camera equipment, coding courses, design software, invest in the tools that multiply your time. Not toys that consume it. Purchase number 2. My first $500 investment in a total stock market index fund inside a Roth IRA. I can hear you yawning already. Index funds? Really? That's your millionaire secret? But math doesn't care about your boredom. Here's the magic. $200 invested monthly from age 20 grows to over $2 million by 65. But that's not why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you because I started this boring habit at 23, treating it like a subscription I couldn't cancel, like Netflix, but for my future freedom. I automated it. The money vanished from my account before I could rationalize spending it on weekend trips or overpriced sneakers. I literally forgot about it for 3 years. Then I checked the balance. It had grown while I slept, while I partied, while I stressed about rent. It was working harder than I was. Think of it like planting an orchard you won't eat from for decades. Boring? Absolutely. But one day, you'll have more fruit than you can carry. The tax advantages of Roth IRAs, or ISAs if you're in the UK, are like growing that orchard inside a greenhouse. The government promises not to steal your harvest. That's a deal worth taking. Purchase number 3. A $350 one-way ticket to a conference in Austin, Texas. This sounds like lifestyle fluff, but it's actually arbitrage, buying relationships at wholesale prices before the world realizes their value. At 24, I was making wooden furniture in my garage for side income. I heard about a sustainable design conference happening across the country. I couldn't afford a hotel, so I slept in my car. I couldn't afford the networking dinner, so I volunteered to set up chairs just to be in the room. I met a supplier who became my manufacturing partner for the next 5 years. I met a mentor who taught me pricing psychology that doubled my margins overnight. That $350 ticket had a return on investment of roughly 10,000%. Travel isn't about Instagram photos. It's about placing yourself in rooms where your future collaborators are standing. It's about proving to yourself that you can navigate unfamiliar territory, which is exactly what entrepreneurship requires. Use credit card points strategically. Pay the balance in full every month. Build your credit score while building your network. 2 birds, 1 stone, 0 interest paid. Purchase number 4. A $12 used book that rewired my brain, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I used to think wealth was about finding the next hot stock. This book taught me it's about behavior, not brilliance. About consistency, not complexity. Education isn't just degrees. It's the compound interest of ideas. A single concept from a $15 book can prevent a $50,000 mistake. That's better leverage than any stock pick. In my 20s, I became obsessed with mental models, frameworks for decision-making that transfer across industries. I learned about opportunity cost, asymmetric risk, and second-order thinking not from a classroom, but from $5 used paperbacks read on subway commutes. The beautiful thing about being young is neuroplasticity. Your brain is still wiring itself. Feed it premium fuel. Avoid the $997 courses sold by guys posing with rented Lamborghinis. Real expertise doesn't need flashy marketing. It needs curious minds willing to do the work. Purchase number 5. A $15,000 down payment on a duplex in a transitioning neighborhood. This is the purchase that scared me most. I was 26. Everyone said I was too young, that I should wait until I was settled, that real estate was for people with real jobs. I house hacked before house hacking had a name. I lived in one unit, rented the other. My tenant paid 80% of my mortgage. I was essentially living for $200 a month in a city where rent averaged $1,400. But here's the secret weapon. That mortgage was a forced savings account with tax benefits. While my friends rented slick downtown apartments, I was building equity, learning property management, and establishing credit history that would later unlock business loans. The property appreciated 40% in 4 years. But more importantly, it taught me that wealth isn't about having money. It's about controlling assets that produce money. You don't need to start with real estate. But you need to understand leverage. Using other people's money, the bank, and other people's time, tenants, to build your empire while you sleep. Purchase number 6. A 2008 Honda Civic I bought for $4,200 cash. At 20, I made the classic mistake. I financed a $28,000 aspirational car because I thought successful people drove successful-looking cars. The payment was $480 a month. The insurance was $200. The depreciation was $400 a month in invisible smoke. Then someone keyed it in a parking lot. I realized I was paying $1,000 a month to worry about a hunk of metal. I sold it, bought the Civic, and invested the difference. That $600 monthly savings, compounded at 10% for 10 years? Over $120,000. For driving a car that nobody wanted to steal, that I didn't stress about parking, that got the exact same me to the exact same places. The only exception. If your vehicle directly generates income. My friend bought a used van to start a mobile detailing business. That's an asset. A financed BMW to impress dates? That's a liability wearing a disguise. Live like a college student as long as you can stand it. Every upgrade you delay is a soldier you're sending to the future to fight for your freedom. Purchase number 7. $1,000 in Bitcoin and Ethereum, treated as a lottery ticket I could afford to lose. Not your life savings. Not your rent money. An amount that, if it went to zero, you'd shrug and learn a lesson. Cryptocurrency has been the best performing asset class of the last decade. It's also been a graveyard for greedy speculators who mortgaged houses to buy Dogecoin at peaks. I treat crypto like venture capital. Most bets will fail, but one winner pays for everything. I dollar cost averaged $100 monthly into Bitcoin and Ethereum for 2 years, then stopped. I haven't sold. I haven't added. It's my what-if insurance policy against a digital future I might not fully understand. The key is position sizing. If you're losing sleep over price swings, you own too much. If you're checking prices daily, you're investing emotionally, not strategically. Diversify across asset classes, not just within them. Stocks, real estate, cash, and a small crypto allocation. The future belongs to the diversified, not the dogmatic. Here's your bonus for staying, because you stayed, right? You didn't skip to the end? The most important purchase isn't a purchase at all. It's an investment in your physical and mental infrastructure. At 25, I collapsed from exhaustion. Not dramatic, just stopped. My doctor said my cortisol levels looked like I was being chased by bears daily. I was working 80 hours, sleeping 5, eating like a teenager, and wondering why my decision-making was deteriorating. I started investing in quality sleep equipment. A gym membership I actually used. Therapy to understand my money anxiety. Quality food instead of convenience calories. Here's the math. A 10% increase in energy and focus compounds over decades into millions in additional earning potential. Health isn't separate from wealth. It's the platform wealth is built on. You can't hustle your way out of a hormonal imbalance. You can't grind through sleep deprivation indefinitely. The wealthy understand that preservation of capital applies to your body and mind first. Your 20s aren't a waiting room for real life. They're the construction phase. Every decision you make now is either a brick in your foundation or a hole you're digging. The purchases I shared aren't magic. They are leverage. Tools that multiply time, money, and opportunity. The common thread. Delayed gratification. Sacrificing what you want now for what you want most. You have something precious that I don't. Time. A 20-year-old's dollar has 40 years to compound. Mine has 20. That's not just math, that's destiny. If this resonated, subscribe. Not for me, for you. Because the algorithm shows this content to people who engage, and I want you to see the next video. Drop a comment. Which purchase are you making first? The skill stack, the invisible army, or the leverage engine? I read every single one. Your future self is watching this video through your eyes right now. Don't let them down. See you in the next one.